and welcome back to the Cola Show. So we were just talking about the LGBT community and religion, and with me I have the artist Lyra here, and we start to scratch the surface, I would say, but there's a lot more to talk about. And moving that conversation along, I was wondering, do you think that religion can exist within the LGBT community? Not the spirituality aspect that we just talked about, but the actual religion, any religion, Islam, whatever it is, can it exist?
Definitely. I see that through churches that they're not only for gay, lesbian, transgenders, but they welcome them. Okay. There are a lot, specifically in DC, actually, that will have big rainbow flags letting you know that we accept all, we welcome you. Because you'll find that, I know before I made my transition, I used to go to church a lot. Mm-hmm.
Wait, just one second. Let's clarify that. Her transition into the community, not her transition. Not the T part of LGBT. She's the L part.
Thank you for specifying that. But yes, when I made my spiritual transition from being very religious, you will see the looks. Like, I don't, I guess, necessarily come off as gay or lesbian, but men or women that may be a little bit more dominant, or men that may be a little bit more feminine, that it may be a little bit, it's clearer and it comes across more so. You see the looks that they get from people in churches. You see people talking about them behind their backs. And I never understood it. If God makes no mistakes, if we're supposed to love and accept everyone, why is there such an issue with someone else and how they choose to live their life? But like I said, through different churches and things that accept people, you definitely can be religious, still attend church, and be in a place that accepts you.
Okay, so I'm going to put a little devil's advocate here, because I am very religious, and I think where the disconnect is as far as religion being in the LGBT community is, I know some churches, they like to say that God made Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve. And it's this traditional sense that nature and what is natural is a man and a woman. And that is the natural relationship, because some people like to think that if you are in a homosexual relationship, then your reproduction is asexual. So you by yourself can't be like, okay, today I'm gonna have a baby, 9 months later just poop one out. Like, no, you actually need sperm that comes from a male. And in the traditional sense, if you haven't gone to, student ed and know how that works, a penis goes into a vagina, then, hopefully you've caught up to that part. So I think in the sense of what is religious and what God has intended for us, and also what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah, if you do not know, it's a rather famous biblical story referencing how the people that lived in that city were took place in lots of different homosexual acts, and God basically wiped that city off the face of the earth. So if you are in church, is that a sermon that your pastor is supposed to not teach?
Well, I'm happy that you brought up Sodom and Gomorrah, because that seems like the main thing for everybody to go to. Well, did you hear about Sodom and Gomorrah? You don't want to end up like that. People don't realize that you cannot take anything for face value, whether it be the Bible, the Quran, read in the newspaper. You should always do your own research. You should always look deeper into things instead of just taking it for what it is. It's the Bible, it has to be the truth. From a little bit of the research that I've done, Sodom and Gomorrah wasn't necessarily about, or the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah wasn't necessarily about or because of homosexuality. It was because of the raping and sodomizing that was going on. They were sodomizing, raping men. And also a word that has been mistranslated, but is used many times within the Bible, Aphrodite? I was supposed to remember it. I cannot pronounce it, but maybe we'll, have it at the end of the segment. So you'll know. But this word was actually used many times in the Bible, and the Greek translation of it did not necessarily mean homosexuality. And people get that confused and think, oh, homosexuals are, to go to hell and all these things. But it really just takes you researching, looking deeper, and again, not going for face value, not believing, looking at your pastor as a God and everything he says is as it's supposed to be or what it is.
So wait, I'm curious because with some people that I've had this conversation with, I've literally had people telling me that the fact that I am religious means that I am anti-homosexuality. Do you agree? Do you think that I can be, because I am very, very religious, and I do believe in the Sodom and Gomorrah story, and I do believe that the norm back then of when the Bible was written is that Adam and Eve, and not Adam and Steve, and it's man and wife. And I think that also has a cultural aspect because I'm Nigerian, and that's not something that we see in our community. However, with that said, I also have best friends that I cherish and love and would die for that associate themselves within that community, and I don't think that they are bad individuals. So do you think that because, and maybe not me because you know me and we're friends, do you think that if you are religious, does that mean that you are anti-gay?
Definitely not. Like I said, there's a lot of homosexual individuals that attend church that are very religious.
So do you just block out that other part of the sermon? It's oh, praise the Lord, and then, oh yes, Adam and Eve, and then you just block that out.
As far as they're concerned, I don't know what they do. I know me, that's why I stopped attending church, because I'm not gonna say, oh, I believe in this, or I wanna hear this, or I'm good with this, but then you say something that I don't believe in. There's a lot of things that I do not agree with or believe in when it comes to religion and the Bible. But I have many friends that are religious as well. They love me. They don't judge me. They have no issue with the lifestyle I choose to lead. And I really don't even like to say lifestyle. It's who I am. Okay. I can't change what it is that I love, So
when people view the LGBT community, do you think that a lot of maybe the hate or the misunderstanding that comes from it is because people are always looking at it from a religious lens?
Definitely. Hate, you're not born with hate. You learn hate. So reading the Bible and it being misconceived or misinterpreted, and it clearly saying, yes, because it's misconceived, misinterpreted, that if you're homosexual, you will go to hell. And if you're religious and if you grew up hearing this and believing this, then that's what you're going to feel. That's what you're going to think and believe. Okay. But again, doing your own research, being your own person is what will...
Okay. So then, also just really quick, with that, do you think that it's then a case of, hate the sin, not the sinner? Just real quick to wrap that up.
Yeah, being homosexual is not a sin at all. So I feel as though if you're going to judge someone, judge them off of their actions. If they're a thief, and even still, don't judge them. There's so many
thieves
people...
go to hell too. They'll be right there next to the homosexuals.
There's so many people that are misconceived themselves because of things that they've been through, things that they've witnessed. There's black men, black boys that are out here getting killed and all these things because of things that they went through, because they're trying to get attention, because they don't know how to love themselves, how to just ask for help. So all of these misconceptions, being Christian, non-Christian, atheist, whatever you want to be, just don't judge, love, and understand where they may be coming from, and the reason why they may have done what they've done. It's not because they may be a terrible, bad person. It's, people go through things and make mistakes and should be able to come back from them.
Agreed. Well, I can feel you getting heated. I feel it. I don't know if it's the red lipstick, whatever it is, I feel it. So this will be a good time for us to take a break. Stay tuned for more Koa Show.